Friends, the lesson today focuses, the first lesson in chapter 10-1 focuses on adding 10 and adding 100. So plus 10 plus 100. Pages you need are 587, 588. Should be ready to go. So the big thing you need to know is when it's adding 10, you're going to have to find your count the blocks here. It says add using mental math, use models if needed. Adding 10 is just going to add 1 to the tens digit, 110, and adding 100 is going to add 1 to the hundreds digit. Okay. So right here I have 100, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So I have 100, 6 tens, which is 60. 100 plus 60 plus 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I have 100 plus 60 plus 4 is 164. Now it says plus 10 plus 100. Plus 10 plus 100. So mental math, what you need to figure out is if I add 10, is it going to require regrouping? So pretend like that 10 is right underneath of it, and you're just adding it down the columns mentally. 4 plus 0, 6 plus 1, 1 plus nothing. That's going to be your answer. Well, this one does not require regrouping because 6 plus 1 doesn't need it. So 164 plus 10 is, one more 10 is 6 tens would be, one more 10 would be 7 tens. 174. Adding 100 down here, mentally, you just want to picture it below and say, okay, 164 plus 100, 4 plus 0, 6 plus 0, 1 plus 0. The only way it would have to require regrouping is if the hundreds needed to be regrouped to 1,000. Doesn't need it. So I have 4 and 6 and 2, 264. So the 10 changed my 10 value. The 100 changed my 100 value. So here you're going to count and write the number. So here is 230, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. 200 plus 30 plus 8, 238, and 238 plus 10 plus 100. Again, mentally, you just want to put those underneath and see, okay. So this gets a little tricky down here is 391 plus 10. Well, this one's going to require regrouping. Watch what happens when I add this. If I do 391 plus 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. 0 down, regroup the 1. Now I have 401. So that is the one that could be tricky right there. You just have to look, the 100, is it going to change anything over here in the hundreds? No. 100, you're going to change 8 to 9? It's okay. 460, 6 to plus 10. There's the tens digit. It's going to be affected. The tens digit, the hundreds digit, plus 100, plus 100. So if you're having trouble mentally do this, just put them underneath. 693 plus 100. And add it. You know how to regroup with addition, add down the columns. This is tough. It says find the missing numbers, use mental math to solve. So you have 572 and 672. So you have the same tens, the same ones, and you have different hundreds. And then you're going to figure out how much it went up by. Now, there's two ways you could do this. If you wanted to figure out how much more you could add to 572 to get to 672, you could. Or, algebraically, you could subtract 572 and just subtract down the columns and find your answer. Because you're going to make this side of the equation 0 for x. And you're going to solve for x, pretending like you're solving for that blank box. Which is 2 minus 2 is 0, 7 minus 7 is 0, 6 minus 1 is 6 minus 5 is 1, and your answer is 1. So you could subtract as a strategy or add up. I would suggest just learning how to subtract and balancing your equations. It's 285. Subtract 285 over here. 699. You're going to get into a problem here because you can't subtract down. You can do 9 minus 9 is 0. 0 minus 9 you can't do. So what am I going to do? I'm going to regroup this. I'm going to grab 100 and make this 10 tens. 10 minus 9. 6 minus 6. The answer is 10. Go ahead and give these 4 a shot down here. Again, I would just suggest, so this is gone, minus 322. I would just subtract to get the box by itself, the blank box, subtract the number next to it, and solve the problem. Over here, 590. 590 gets rid of this, and then you have just this left. Flip it over. It says the Science Club asks 178 people about recycling. The club wants to ask a total of 188 people about recycling. How many more? How many more is what? It's subtraction. And when you subtract, you always start with the biggest number. 188 minus 178. That tells you how many more people you need to ask. Bob plays a game. He scores 473 points. Bob plays again and scores 100 points. How many points did Bob score in both games? Both. Figure out how many scored in both games. Think of a 3-digit number. Write a story about adding 100 to your number. So, Bob sees 486 birds. It says adding 100 to your number. He sees 100 more. How many in all? Why? Because it's addition. 486 plus 100 equals. You don't need to use my numbers. You don't need to use my character names. You just create your own. It says Sharon counts 328 marbles. David counts 100 more marbles than Sharon. How many marbles does David count? 100 more. If Sharon counts 328, David counts 328 plus 100 more. And there you go. Questions, come see me. Make sure your name's on it.